So why change management? I may have stated this, change management needs to be strategic. And I highlight there at the top of that picture the importance of collaborative decision making. Usually, most of my clients in the sector would say corporate or head office is pushing decisions to operations without understanding the operational landscape intimately. So that's very important, that formulating strategies that are emphasizing the role of collaborative decision making is very, very critical. The second thing that I'm passionate about on there is around data-driven insights. There is no need to use gut feel or just feelings around changes. Changes must be supported by the right research, data-driven insights, highlighting the risks that are coming from data analytics to inform and guide leadership actions. Leadership routines need to be informed by reliable and credible data. And if you don't have data to support the trajectory that you've chosen, you're going to fall behind. And by the way, if it's not data-driven, someone tomorrow might come and challenge you because you've got nothing that supports your decision. Now, what is the connection? Why the connection between management and operations is so critical? Because that visual integration is currently lacking. Most of my clients, as I said earlier, would say, yeah, we were told by business or by headquarters that they've done research and this is what needs to change. But sometimes that research data is not forthcoming, and then it becomes like, oh, well, we're just going to do what they ask us to do. So be careful to understand that and continue. If you are in operations, you're a GM in operations, you are management in operations, at a mine site, always challenge those decisions that come at you without justification, supported by data. Lastly, technological adaptation needs to come from the idea that we are advancing operational strategies, but technological advances also need to talk to improving performance, not just human performance, but also business performance. I've just come from a meeting with a client right now where they're pushing digitalization to the system, but without advocating for productivity, efficiency, and human performance. Technology should be enabling people to do better at work and work to be better for humans. If that is not dropping clearly up front, continue to challenge. Why are we implementing this technological tool if work is not going to improve, efficiencies are not going to improve, productivity is not going to improve, and ultimately business performance? I even go further and say your change programs need to show how the bottom line is going to increase or improve. If there's no indication of how the bottom line at org level is going to be impacted by the change, you're probably wasting time and money. So always understand that technological adaptation is not just a frenzy that we've seen over the past 4 years after COVID. It's a necessity to drive performance and ultimately business success. I want to talk about the human aspect of change management. And again, we always say, yeah, it's just about shareholders, about the bosses, it's about what the bosses want. If you cannot humanize change and you cannot show how it's going to impact humans that are working in your ecosystem, you're probably going to lose the plot, because people are going to change or climb on the change wagon if they can see benefits to themselves. And I'm calling out here the big picture benefits, but also focusing on the technical stuff that are making things happen at the ground level. Things like making sure that they understand how work is going to be impacted, how a day in a life of the job itself is going to change, particularly how the change is going to impact them and make them work better on a day-to-day basis, reducing hands-offs, making sure that there are no inefficiencies, eradicating duplications, as well as wastage. So the benefits are as follows. And first, of course, efficiency and productivity. You need to demonstrate. If it's automation, demonstrate how that is going to improve productivity. And again, using data-driven insights and that are defensible and explainable. Sometimes as consultants or as smart people at the head office, we push dashboards to our leaders at the operations without dissecting them with real life information that's going to resonate with the people at the operations. So efficiency and productivity will improve, but make sure that you streamline those operations using data as a backup. And again, it must be defensible, it must be explainable. Second, safety. And in this sector, you know this, safety is not negotiable in the mining sector. Improvements around technology need to show how real-time monitoring, for instance, is going to improve things around analytics to show that downtime is eliminated and safety is going to be managed. And I always say that if you remove a lot of human intervention or human interaction in a workflow or in a process, you give the opportunity for a company to reduce safety issues or to even reduce safety risk. So we're not saying that we don't want workers in the value chain, but it's important that we reduce handoffs and we reduce manually human interaction in a process. And by so doing, humans can focus on what makes sense for them, and machines can do different things that machines are good at. Lastly, employee engagement and employee empowerment. Technology or change management needs to empower the workforce. It needs to show and demonstrate how employees are going to get more to work together as a workforce, as a team, and improve engagement. And that decision-making capabilities are there. So leave the stuff that's mundane, that is repetitive, and that is boring and administrative to the machines. But all the workflows within this sector will need some kind of human touch, and make sure that you leave things to the humans that are going to keep them engaged.